3 delinquents suddenly disappeared on their way to school. The police captain investigated immediately after receiving the report. The last place the kids were seen was in a game room, and the owner recalled an old lady who seemed to be picking up the kids from school. According to the owner's identification of the old lady's photo, the captain instantly had a direction of investigation because this person has been engaged in trafficking for many years and the disappearance of the 3 may be related to her. After a lot of investigation, the trafficker was finally caught, but she did not admit to having trafficked the 3 teenagers. At this point, the captain gave his men a hint, and after observing that there was no one outside the door, the captain went to the trafficker and took out a photo and asked her if she had ever seen this child. The trafficker quickly admitted that she had seen the boy and said he had died of a disease during transportation. The captain became emotional and realized that his son had also been trafficked many years ago. After 3 months of investigation, it was confirmed that the traffickers had nothing to do with the 3 missing boys. After checking the hiding places around the place where they disappeared, murder was ruled out. The police had no choice but to comfort the victim's family and cancel the task force. Unexpectedly, 3 years later, a teenager was mistaken for a pickpocket in a car, and while everyone was arguing, a man recognized him instantly. A breakthrough was made in the disappearance case. The police immediately asked the family to identify him. After looking at the scar on his hand, his sister reconfirmed that he was Kevin, who had disappeared 3 years ago. However, the teenager looked confused and didn't seem to recognize his sister. Seeing her brother, whom she hadn't seen in 3 years, her sister was heartbroken and immediately took him to buy shoes, but the size that fit her brother back then was still a size too big for her. But she didn't ask any questions. The police were responsible for sending the 2 home and asked the teenager again how he disappeared 3 years ago. The teenager said he was taken into a den of thieves and he managed to escape. When the police wanted to ask more questions, the sister interrupted the police on the grounds that her brother had just come home. Kevin's father was thrilled to have him back, but his calm expression made the police suspicious. The happiest person was Kevin's mother 3 years ago when her son disappeared in the rain. The mother couldn't bear the shock, so she waited in front of the school with an umbrella every day. To fulfill her wish, the boy walked out of the school on purpose. The mother couldn't believe her eyes and didn't even dare to recognize her son until he called out to her mother. And she finally came back to her senses. She cared about his food and clothing just like she used to pick him up. The captain also launched an investigation. He compared the photos of Kevin's ears before and after he disappeared and on the second day of the search. He found that Kevin's shoe size was different, so he had a bold guess that the teenager was not the same as Kevin 3 years ago. But the strange thing is that the scars on the boy's hands are the same as Kevin's and also have a history of 7 or 8 years. Is it all a coincidence? Translated with DeepL. Calm, free version.